Hi everyone, I'm Emma, a certified dog trainer.
And I'm Kirsten, a certified dog behavior consultant.
And this is Dog Chats. Join us as we chat about dog behavior, having fun with your dogs, and building relationships. We will offer practical advice and a bit of humor. Hi everyone, welcome to episode 12. We're excited today to be joined by Suzanne Gollin, who is the foster care coordinator at Marin Humane. Her position allows her to be part of a team dedicated to saving many lives. She enjoys matching fosters with the perfect foster pet, and she enjoys learning a great deal about medical care for pets and behavior information about the dogs and the cats. She is looking forward this year to even having more animals go to foster. Last year they had 850 animals that went to foster, and she's hoping to get that up to 1,000 this year. It's really wonderful. So without ado, I will introduce Suzanne. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very honored.
Great.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah. And for those that may not know anything about fostering, tell us a little bit about what that entails.
Well, fostering is for animals that aren't quite ready to go up for adoption. So it can be anywhere from a dog who's had surgery recently, or perhaps it's a cat waiting for a dental. It could be a mama dog with puppies, a mama cat with kittens. We also send out at Marin Humane other animals like rabbits and guinea pigs. And we've started a new program where we'll send out animals that are available for adoption, but we'll put them as available for adoption in foster. And that allows us to take in more animals. It gets those animals out of the shelter so that they can relax, so we can get behavior information until they get adopted. It's a great program. It's extremely rewarding. As you can imagine, getting the animals out of a noisy shelter is extremely helpful to them, and they get to decompress, and we get so much feedback from the fosters about their behavior. And it's an awesome program. It's extremely rewarding. And once your animal gets adopted, you know, it can be a little hard, but then you've got your home ready for the next foster.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So what kind of foster homes do you look for? I know you were talking about like just behavior stuff. It could be medical stuff. But if somebody was interested in being part of the foster program, what are you looking for home-wise? Could they have dogs, maybe other pets, kids?
Yeah. So for puppies and kittens, we've realized that it's best to get them into a home that has a lot of activity. And both of you who work with puppies and dogs, etc., know that the more socialization they can get, the more noises they're exposed to, they do much better, especially when they come back to the shelter. So for puppies and kittens, we're looking for active households, hopefully with kids, or, you know, people have parties, cheese and wine parties. You can have your friends come over and socialize. That's always fun. Obviously, for a dog or a cat that may be shy or timid, we're going to look for a quieter home. Probably no kids, or maybe just adult. Not adult, but older, calm children, or just adults only. And then that way, that dog can relax a lot faster. For shy dogs, we'll have our behaviorists talk to the fosters, be in touch with them on a regular basis. And but for most foster homes, if you've got pets, we'll work with you and see if they all get along. If they do, great. If they don't, that's fine. You know, now we know that maybe that dog doesn't like to have, you know, a cat around or what have you. So we try really hard to match up what the pet's needs are to what the foster home can offer.
And it can be a variety of time, right?
Oh, sure. Sure.
So a variety of time, like it could be just a couple of days to possibly a couple of months, all depending on the animal.
Right. We have some fosters that will take, mostly dogs. Like we can usually tell within a few days with some dogs what the behavior issue might be. I mean, for instance, we've had several dogs that were really, really shut down in the shelter. And we were like, oh, not sure, you know, you're going to do okay here. And we sent him out to foster. And the next day we're hearing from the foster, this dog is totally fine. It's just that shelter environment. And that only took 24 hours for the dog to go, whew, okay, I can just be myself now. So it can be just a few days. It can be a few weeks, certainly if there's medical. Or it can be several months if it's a really shy dog or a shy cat, or obviously if you've got like a mom with puppies, that's going to take a little bit longer. But yeah, again, we'll match up, you know, what's your schedule like? What's the animal's needs? Obviously with most foster programs, if suddenly something comes up, you have to go out of town, that's fine. The foster coordinator will work with you and so forth. But yeah,
So it's such a great way to kind of, I don't want to say try out a dog, but do a little experimentation. Like if you're wondering about getting a second dog.
Right.
Or if you're wondering if your family's ready for a
Right.
dog.
Right.
And trying out different types of dogs.
Yeah.
Sizes and
Yeah.
breed mixes.
Yes. Yeah, it's a good way to do that. It's also, it's a good way to know if down the road, is your family really ready for a long-term commitment?
Yeah.
Sometimes we have fosters that fall in love with who they're fostering, or maybe their dog really likes that dog they're fostering, and they decide to adopt, and that's awesome. There's a term in the industry called foster fail, which I don't like. I like to think of it as forever foster. But if that happens, we're thrilled, and that's fine. And if you can't foster again, that's okay. It was meant to be that you got that second dog or that second cat.
And so so that means basically you fostered and then you fell in love with the dog
Absolutely.
and the dog or the cat or whatever
whatever
animal you have in your home, and you just decide to keep them.
Yeah, and that's
then,
fine.
And then you can't foster anymore because your house is full now.
That's great. But that's okay. It was
But you
meant
don't
to be.
mind. It was meant to be. And
Yep.
Buddy here was kind of in that realm
A
because I
forever foster.
he was a forever foster, but I
Yes.
was seriously thinking of keeping him right from the start.
Right,
but
right.
He is
Right.
a forever foster, and I know you too.
3 of my dogs.
3 of your dogs are
And 2 of the cats. 2 of the cats I was fostering, and then after literally 2 hours, I was like, not fostering these cats.
I mean, ideally, a foster program is geared to recruiting fosters who will continue to foster on a regular basis. But again, if it happens, it happens. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yes.
I would like to say I fostered 27 dogs, mostly through Milo, and I only kept 3. So that's pretty good. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. And I fostered throughout the years as
Yeah.
well. And I have to say, one of the hardest things for me is saying goodbye to the dog.
I know.
I know.
It is hard.
Yeah,
It is
but
hard.
Suzanne makes that so not easy, but you made that as easy as it could be.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
I remember when I brought back Mama Dog.
Yeah.
Because I had
Yeah.
Mama Dog and her puppies, and
Yeah.
you're just so supportive. And,
Yeah. I mean, I know it's hard, but you look at what you've done for this animal and that they weren't being basically raised in a shelter environment. And unfortunately, so many shelters are overwhelmed right now where sometimes you do get those mama dogs with puppies and they're in there for 8-9 weeks.
yes.
And that's not
Yes.
good for their development, as
Yeah.
you both know. So if you can foster, definitely do it. And even if you can only foster for a couple of weeks, like a mama dog with puppies or a few puppies, it's better. It's better than having them stay in the shelter.
So we might be getting people that are listening to our podcast that most of them possibly have dogs, but we might have people that don't have dogs and have the opportunity to bring a mama and pups. I've had a mama and pups here with my 2 dogs.
Yes,
I just
yes,
kept
I
them in a
remember.
separate. I kept them in a separate area.
Yeah.
So that we were all good, but that great feeling about being able to help and then them moving on to their forever home
Right.
is such a great feeling. And one of the reasons why we wanted to do this episode is to sort of bring awareness to the shelters right now. Look a little different than they did before COVID, a little fuller.
Yes.
Not
Yes.
just a little, with a lot of adolescent large dogs. You're seeing those, right? And do sometimes they go out to foster?
We
What
would
do you
like
think?
more of them to go out to foster.
Yeah.
I think every shelter right now is struggling to find homes that can take in the large adolescent dogs or even just the large dogs, whether they're old or young.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem right now. So anybody listening, even if you can do it for a couple of weeks, you've got a yard or not. Maybe you're a runner. Maybe you're going to be off from work or you work at home, and you can take a dog out for a long walk and just tire them out. It's so difficult in a shelter environment for a large dog.
Yeah.
Well, for any dog, but there's just not the space in the kennel. So if anybody out there can foster for a week or 2, maybe you've got another big dog that wants a good playmate,
Yeah.
just
or kids.
inquire about it. Or kids that want to get some
Yeah.
extra walking in.
Yeah.
Some shelters that have moms and pups, the pups can technically kind of be taken away from mom around 6 weeks, 7 weeks, because then they're kind of done nursing. So inquire at your shelter, because if you can get those puppies out for 2 weeks and foster them instead of having their last 2 weeks in the shelter, that's going to be really beneficial as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, huge for the puppies just
yeah.
to get out there.
Oh, it's so critical.
Just see the world, the
Yeah.
exposure.
Yeah.
Seeing things, even
Hearing
just,
things, yeah.
even just moving over objects and
Right,
and around
right.
stuff and new environments,
Right,
all
right.
so important
Yeah.
that if you can help.
Yeah, I
with
think
that.
when I've done other webinars and Zooms and all that, shelters all over the country our biggest needs right now are the large dogs need to get to foster, and then the behavior fosters, and that usually is shy dogs.
Yeah.
Maybe some other issues, but so if you have the time, especially if you work at home with a shy dog, I think that would be fairly easy to work with. I think you both would agree with that.
Yeah.
Because they just need that quiet place where you can slowly toss a treat to them or get them outside or whatever.
They can start to trust people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and that's-
hopefully your shelter has behaviorists that can help you with that. But if not, there's plenty of information about how to work with, shy dogs or nervous dogs.
And you have a lovely thing. When I was fostering Buddy, you had a whole program that I signed up for online that gave me lots of information
Okay.
on there as well about
Yeah.
what to do,
Yeah.
which was awesome.
Yeah, our behavior and training department, we're really, really, really fortunate that we have this great, great team of behaviorists and consultants. And but there's a lot of free handouts. They do some, Zoom classes, but they're always available, and which is so helpful to me. Because I can say, hey, so-and-so's having a problem with Jojo the dog, and can you, step in and call them? Or I can ask one of our cat behaviorists some advice for a cat that might be having some issues. So we're really fortunate that we have that. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff on our website, but yeah.
And I remember when the puppies were sick, I
Yes.
called you, and you get the free vet care right away.
Yes.
We brought them in, they
Yeah.
checked them out, did all the tests.
Yes.
Don't know what it was. They
Yes.
ended up fine.
Yeah.
And the food was all provided. And,
Yes.
any meds that need to
Yeah.
be given to the animals provided.
And the reason to do this too is we might find somebody that's listening to the podcast that goes, hey, I'm going to do that. But
Right.
But also just to bring awareness. It's not for everybody to go call Suzanne or
Right.
call their shelter
Right.
tomorrow. If
Right.
it's not for them, but just bring awareness.
Yeah, spread the
To
word.
spread the
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
Like if somebody's like thinking about, volunteering or working with a shelter or wants to just work with animals a little bit
Mm-hmm. Right.
more, that this is a wonderful way to give back and
Yeah.
really fulfilling. And I have to just go back to the part of letting them go
Oh,
because in my head here, and I loved it. I mean, like we had a shy dog. We kept her for 3 months. She was a collie. She was really shy, and it took her a while to come around, but she did, and
Yeah.
she found her forever home.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
remember saying to the people, I am available if you ever need a dog
Yeah.
sitter or anything. And they said, no, we think it might be better if she cut her ties with you. And I was so
yeah.
sad
Yeah.
when she was
Well,
walking. But I felt
that's-
so good, right?
Yeah,
So that's
right, exactly.
that's the reason why I'm saying that
Yeah.
is that there is the attachment you get, but then it feels so good to know that you found them a home
Yeah.
because she wasn't going to be able to stay with us. We already
Right,
had
right,
a full house.
right.
It was that temporary thing. But just knowing that she found
Yeah.
her home and went to them
Yeah.
makes you feel so good afterwards.
And that she wasn't, scared in a shelter. Because,
No.
shelter employees, especially in really big shelters, can only do so much. And they can't, it's really difficult. So, again, getting them out. And I wanted to say one other thing about fosters is that what's really been helpful is for all fosters is that they are able to kind of put on their social media, hey, I'm fostering this litter of puppies.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got this rabbit that I'm fostering. It's
Yeah.
really cute. So they have been invaluable in getting the word out that these animals are going to be available soon,
Mm-hmm.
or they'll find adopters for us, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I there's a couple of fosters that whenever we send them a litter of kittens, invariably almost all of them find homes
Yeah.
before they even get back to the
Oh,
shelter. So it's really
wonderful.
awesome.
Yeah.
And also I wanted to say that because you brought it up about the medical care. So not all shelters can provide everything for their foster programs. They're trying very hard.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate in Marin County because we have such great support. But most shelters can provide all the medical care. Now, they may not be able to provide you all the supplies, but, again, buying dog food to help a dog get out of a shelter
Yeah.
it's so rewarding, and you know, it doesn't really cost that much.
Yeah.
But you know, encourage your shelter if they don't have a foster program to start one, or offer to take a dog maybe for a couple of nights,
Yeah.
and just say, hey, this can work for you all, and look at the information I have about this dog. So I encourage people to reach out to their shelters and just see what they have.
And sometimes it's rescues as well. So
Oh, absolutely.
Rescues do a
Oh,
lot
absolutely.
of foster.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like their main way to
Yeah,
do
that's,
it.
yeah, they don't have a shelter,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they're
Like-
always looking.
Are
Yeah, and it
always
can
doing
be
it.
for mixed breeds or purebreds. I mean, you can, if you're a big, I don't know, Cavalier or King Charles lover,
Yes.
you know, or whatever.
My
You know, there's
sister
rescues.
actually fosters in Ireland,
Yeah.
and she fosters greyhounds,
Yeah,
and it is
yeah.
a rescue that does great work, but isn't able to, like Marin Humane, give you everything you need. But they definitely
But,
do medical. They even brought in a trainer
Yeah.
For her for the last dog she
Yeah.
had, and that's wonderful. Most
Yeah.
of those dogs that she sees either come from racetrack, or
Right.
they're lurchers, which
Right.
haven't had a great life either.
Yeah.
And sometimes cruelty,
Yeah.
and she fosters them. So,
Yeah.
it's a wonderful thing. And she doesn't have any dogs in her house. So it can happen all over
Yeah.
the world, no
Right.
matter where you're
Yeah.
listening from. It's possible to just reach out and help.
And sometimes it just takes one person offering to foster for a couple of nights,
Mm-hmm.
and then the staff will say, "Wow, that was okay. That kind of worked.
Yeah, yeah.
What can we do?"
Yeah, I remember I had his name was Bambi. That's funny. Yeah, yeah. I think like 9. He was one of those skinny deer. Oh, that's probably why they called him Bambi. The deer chihuahuas, with
yes,
the long legs.
yes.
9 of them came in from a hoarding situation. They'd been living in the car or a van with
yeah.
a person. His nails were so long he couldn't walk.
Yeah.
We had him 5 nights, and he was like a different dog,
Yeah.
just zooming around the yard.
Yeah.
Jumping in the kids' laps. And that's the other thing I want to say. It's so good for kids to have this experience.
Yes.
And I worried when my girls were younger about giving back, the whatever
Right.
27 minus 3 is,
Right.
dogs. Kids are almost more resilient with this than we are. And the idea of hope. They're so hopeful. We helped this dog, and now they're going to have a better life because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What a
yeah.
great lesson to teach.
Yeah.
Stronger than me.
And you're teaching them that, well, you're teaching them that this just isn't the right time for us,
Yeah.
but down the road.
Yeah.
And I think I think better to do it that way than to get a dog and then have to return it or surrender it because now it's not the great time. So,
Yeah.
and I agree. Kids are usually more resilient because they're excited about the next group.
Right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And
I mean-
and teaching compassion, like that's
Oh, yeah.
that's huge, right?
I get
So-
I get a lot of foster. My daughter's asking, when are the kittens coming? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
We have a foster right now who we were helping another shelter. Someone left at their front door a mama dog with 7 puppies that were like 5 days old. And they were overwhelmed at the shelter. They were probably, I don't know if they would have been able to find foster, but we got this frantic email, and this one foster said, I'll take them. Where are they? Right now.
Nice.
And I think she's found homes for 4 of them.
Wow.
So she's amazing. And I was like, it's 7, right? I told you 7 puppies.
Yeah, but when
I
they're
know.
little, I mean, honestly, I
know,
think the
I
little
know.
puppies are easier because they're just in that pen with mama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they don't start moving around till, 4 weeks or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And her little dogs love it. And she converted, she's a bathroom that, I guess it's a guest bathroom. And she opens up the shower and just puts the bedding in there. And so it's really easy to
great.
clean.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
you can find places in your homes, I promise.
Yeah. And that when I had the puppies, I
Yeah.
had them in the office,
Yes.
and I just had a big X pen.
Yes, I remember.
And the puppies were inside. Mom was already close to being done with them.
Yes.
So she got time to be out on
Yes,
her own.
yes,
And I just kept the
yes.
puppies contained in that room and just blocked it off so that my
Right.
dogs couldn't get into the puppies.
And I think you invited a lot of us over during
And then
that time
to check,
yeah.
to hang out with the
Yeah.
puppies, and I built obstacle courses so that they had stuff to
Oh,
go
yeah,
around.
so important.
That
Yeah.
was great.
Marin Humane does
Mm-hmm.
something amazing where, and you're going to have to give us the details, like 'cause it's probably not every dog, but some of the dogs can go home with a foster just for that evening to get
Mm-hmm. Yes.
a break. But if
Yeah.
the person has to go to work or can't care for the dog the next
Right.
day, they're bringing the dog back.
Right. Right, exactly. I mean, it was a program that started years ago, and I think it was, just to give them an overnight break. And, when the shelter world is just so hard on the animals. I mean, they're just so overly stimulated, right? All the noises and people and smells. Yeah. I mean, dogs are just smelling everything. So yeah, we started a program. It's primarily for dogs, not so much for cats, because I don't want to do that. Yeah, folks can take dogs home for the night, and they'll come and pick them up around 5, and then they get to just decompress and have a good night's sleep and hang out with their family or their pets. And then they bring them back by 10 when we open. It's great because it's someone who can't do, like you say, maybe they work full time.
Yeah.
And they really want to help out, but they can't do long-term fostering.
Yeah.
And it just helps that dog relax a little bit. Yeah, it's a great program.
And if it suits the dog, like you were saying, it's particular dogs that
Right.
won't
It's not
have
gonna
a
be-
hard time
yes.
going
Yes.
back into the shelter and then
Right.
coming out.
Yeah,
and I
just
did
some
that.
dogs.
I did that for a dog a long time ago, and it was
Yeah.
wonderful because I could do all the things I needed to do during the day.
Right.
Then I'd stop by just before you close.
Yeah.
I'd grab the dog. I'd have the dog at home for the evening,
Right.
and then in the morning I'd drop him off when you opened up, and then
You got all
off
your-
for my day. And I really felt like
Yeah.
that kind of gave me the freedom that I could do the foster and help out as well.
Yeah,
So
and you're
it's-
right. It's going to be just the right dog, because there are some dogs that going back and forth, they're not going to, they're not going to be as relaxed.
Yeah.
They kind of get comfortable in their enclosure at the shelter, but to take them out, put them back. So it does have to be the right match.
dog.
And
Yeah.
I remember being there in the morning when some of the overnight fosters would come back, and I was intrigued. It wasn't like they would get to the shelter and start shaking.
No.
Like they had two happy places. They were like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm back in the shelter.
Yeah.
Oh, you're coming to take me home tonight.
And it was a nice little routine.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause it's usually the same person
Yeah,
taking
you
them
don't
each
want
night,
to.
right?
Yeah, some dogs, if you're rotating them all around to different people, different homes,
Too much.
That's going to be too much.
Yeah.
But for the dogs that can handle it, they
Yeah.
they really. We don't tend to do that with puppies, just because they're they haven't had all their vaccinations.
Yes.
They can get stressed out a little bit, maybe, or we just want to play it safe. So for the adult dogs, they can handle it. It's very. And then you got to have some doggy love for the night.
I
and
know,
hang out.
it was
great.
perfect.
Yeah.
It was great. And
Yeah.
and I had my two dogs before Buddy and Kiva that were just really open to
Yeah.
having other dogs here,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
was really, really good.
Yeah.
Mr. Buddy here is a little bit fussy. He's like, I got in here. I don't know if I'm going to
Yeah.
let anybody else in.
We're good here, Mom.
Yeah,
we're okay.
Good, we're good. What are the animals in the shelter that tend to get adopted much faster that you may not need foster
Right.
for versus the ones you might need foster?
I'd say first of all, puppies tend to go very quickly. We're very lucky in Marin County where we just don't get a lot of puppies.
Yeah.
I mean, we just don't. And I think that's for a variety of reasons, but that's a whole nother subject. But so our puppies tend to go very, very quickly, and then small dogs. Cute little fluffy dogs tend to go very fast. Dogs that maybe were owner surrenders and we know they are good with kids, they're house trained, they're good on the leash, they don't bark. Dogs like that are going to go very fast because that's what everybody wants, right? They want to walk in and find the perfect dog. But you have to kind of keep open-minded that, again, we're only going by what we see in the shelter.
Right.
And that's why fostering is so important too, because maybe the dogs that we're not so sure about, or the ones that don't seem as adoptable because of what we've written, might totally be adoptable, but we're only going by what we see in the shelter. So again, fostering dogs that have been there a long time, dogs that may or may not have behavior issues or recovering from medical. Let's face it, dogs that are all black tend to sit in shelters longer. Brindle colored dogs tend to sit in shelters longer. Anything that looks like a bully breed might, even though they're great dogs or they have great personalities. So those are the dogs that we would love to get out to foster more.
Yeah.
But if you call your local shelter and say, I want a cute little dog and I want it to be house trained and don't bark much, probably not going to get
Probably
it
not going to get it.
because they go so quickly.
A purebred Pomeranian.
Yeah. I mean, we do get
might.
some purebreds.
You might.
We
You
do
might.
get some purebreds.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're looking for that, probably not going to happen at almost any shelter.
Yeah. Yeah.
However, there are some organizations like Muttville that does all senior dogs, and most of those are very small.
Yeah.
So that would be a great organization if you can only handle a small dog for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But at our shelter, no, the small dogs are going to go fast.
Going to go
Yeah,
fast. Yeah.
they're going to go really fast.
Let's talk about, obviously, we're mainly talking to people with dogs, but you foster out cats and other
Yes.
and then,
Rabbits.
Yeah, my other passion at
Yes,
work.
and
yeah.
and it could be people that have a dog that might be interested in
Oh, absolutely.
bringing a cat or
Yeah.
or
Or a guinea pig or a
whatever.
rabbit, yeah.
So let's talk, because this is Suzanne's passion. We're about
Yeah,
to.
even
I mean, like,
rats,
her
right?
passion is
Well,
foster care.
yes,
but
absolutely.
But her extra passion.
Yes, my additional passion that started years ago at
Yes.
the shelter.
Yes.
We're an open door shelter, so we have all animals coming in. We have rabbits, guinea pigs, tortoises, snakes, everything, tarantulas, whatever, geckos. So we also have started a couple of years ago fostering out small animals, which would be guinea pigs, rats, rabbits, hamsters. We had someone late last year bring us 19 dwarf hamsters.
Wow.
And that's a lot. So we started fostering them out, and they're slowly getting adopted. But we do a lot of rabbit fostering because we're overloaded with rabbits. Again, rabbits are, it's a lot of stimulus at the shelter.
Yeah.
We have nice enclosures for them, but not as big as we'd like, of course. So we foster out a lot of rabbits, and most of the thing we get along just fine with cats and dogs. We'll do guinea pigs, especially because some of them are shy. We've done rats before that are shy, or not shy, and we just had too many. So yeah, again, ask your local shelter. It's a good way to teach kids responsibility.
Yeah.
It's a good way to find out if it's a good match. Again, we hope that you'll foster and foster and foster, but if you fall in love with that rabbit or guinea pig, so be it. Yeah, and we're fortunate again where we can provide everything that they need.
And what if they have a dog in the home already?
So,
what
yeah.
do you have to think about with that?
Yeah, so some dogs, not all, have prey drive, where they'll see something really small and fuzzy and think, Now, I had a Jack Russell named Roscoe, and he was afraid of literally everything. So he was terrified of my rabbit. Yeah, he was a baby.
Yeah.
You remember Roscoe. He'd see a gopher and run the other way. He was just a wonderful Jack Russell. But he was really sweet. And my bigger dog, Tex, he was fine with rabbits in the house. If he saw one outside, he wanted to chase it.
Yeah.
So it varies. But I've gotten so many pictures back with the Labrador resting next to the rabbit,
Yeah.
or the guinea pigs next to the cat, or the big old pit bull with the whatever on its head, resting or sleeping next to him. So I trust the foster people to do slow introductions. We did have one person who took guinea pigs home to foster, and it was in their kid's bedroom, and their Jack Russell was outside the door trying to get in the bedroom. And we said, okay, that's not
a good match.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
don't want your animal stressed out knowing there's something in there.
Right.
And obviously we
that
don't
out
want
there,
anything to
not
happen.
stressed
So
out. Yeah.
they brought him back, and that was fine. And we
Yeah.
said, okay, now you know that small animals are not a good fit for you.
And you set them up for success. You tell
Absolutely.
them what to look for, and
Oh, yeah.
whether it's working or it's not
And
working.
and we've even done dog to bunny intros if someone wants to adopt. And we've had many dogs that were like, whatever.
Yeah.
That I thought, oh boy. And other dogs that were like, oh, okay. And I'd say, yeah, you shouldn't have any small animals. So, but it's good, we know,
great.
and the rabbits were all very safe, I promise.
Yeah.
Very, very long distance away, but we could tell right away. And I usually would have a dog trainer with me just to read their language. But yeah, anyway, so again, ask your shelter if you can foster. Again, getting them out, more handling, that's always a plus. Yeah.
I had a rabbit for 10 years.
Oh,
And he had free reign of the house.
Yes.
Just went in the litter box.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you have chickens now with your dogs as well.
Yeah, but so like you were saying, one of the dogs can't be out when the chicken's out. Just one. The other three are fine with
Yes.
us. They're all different.
you just never know.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
So to finish up then, Suzanne, is there
Yes.
anything you want to let people know that we may not have covered, or just in general?
I just want people to know that fostering is just invaluable to to a shelter. I mean, I think the biggest part is that you give us so much behavior information that we need. Well, first of all, it benefits that animal, again, to get out of the shelter, decompress, be in a home environment. It's so important. And it allows your shelter to have space for another animal that they can take in. But the behavior information is just invaluable. I mean, I can't tell you, especially with cats. I don't know, and dogs. Well, everybody, but cat behavior information getting back from the fosters that I get is just invaluable. And it's just an amazing program.
Yeah.
It's such nice way to give. You can set up your own schedule. I can do it for a couple months and then I'm gone and I'll do it again. It's just so helpful, especially during kitten season when every shelter is overloaded. So just reach out. And again, if you can only do it for a couple of weeks, give it a go.
Yeah.
See how you like it. And if it's too hard emotionally, that's fine. You know, you at least saved those animals and helped out. Mm-hmm. And then it's not the right fit for you, but that's fine. But you were able to help out for a little bit, and that's awesome. So I don't know. I just think it's so rewarding.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
just so if anybody's interested in fostering through
yeah.
Marin Humane,
Yes.
how do they get in contact with you?
So they can, well, you can email me at sgollin, I'll spell it out, at Marin Humane. So S is in Suzanne, G is in George, OLLIN is in Nancy at marinhumane.org. You can go to our website, click on fostering, get to me that way. Yeah, those are probably the easiest.
Great.
There's a phone, but you know, everyone does email now in the web. So
And do you have to be perfect to be a foster? Do you have to be like a perfect
No.
person? No.
Listen,
No.
hey, we did it.
You know, yeah, that's what I was trying to.
No,
trying to
you have
get that,
to be
make that clear.
18.
18. Okay, interesting.
No, I do recommend that you live in Marin if possible, because you might have to bring them in every few weeks for
For
vaccinations.
here.
Yeah, if you can. But we have out of county fosters. You don't have to be perfect, and then that's where, that's where I get to talk to a new foster. What's your, and you kind of get a feel for what might be a good match for them.
Yeah.
But no, you're going to make mistakes. Maybe not. We'll cover everything that we want you to do. Dogs have to stay in your yard and let the cats out and that sort of thing. But no, you don't have to be perfect.
Yeah. Good.
No. It's like when you bring home your first pet, right?
Right.
Yes.
You
Nothing's
learn.
perfect.
There's a learning curve.
Yeah. But we'll help you along the way. And I'm always available, and Marissa, who helps me as well, will help you if there's any issues that come up. So,
Right.
Excellent.
yeah.
So I hope our viewers, even if they're listening to this just to get this wonderful information about fostering, and they don't have room in their home to foster, but just spread the word.
Spread the word. Yep.
Just put it out there
Encourage
that
other
there's a
people,
lot
yeah.
of
Yep.
there's a lot of animals in shelters
Yep.
right now that could use a little bit of our help.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you can, and it doesn't have to be continuous, it could be on and off whenever
or
they
support,
can.
or you could support your local foster program.
Yeah.
Maybe your shelter, is doing a food drive for their fosters, or a kitten drive. A lot of them will ask for kitten supplies during kitten season. So if you can't physically bring them in, see if you can buy some KMR or dog food or puppy food or whatever.
Yeah.
to support
To support them.
the program.
Yeah, so
That's
they can
awesome.
get more
That's
fosters
awesome.
out. So yeah,
Excellent.
yeah.
Well, thanks, Suzanne.
Well, you're welcome.
We're
good to see
so
you.
happy
Yeah.
to have you
Yeah,
here,
thank you,
and
thank
such
you.
great
Yeah.
information. So, thanks everybody for joining us.
And the
And
dogs
keep
are
it-
ready to play now.
Our dogs, so you can hear them in the background,
Yes.
have started to play. They're like,
They're-
okay, you guys
yeah,
are
you-
almost
Enough
done.
talking.
We're done talking. Let's play a little bit. So yeah.
Take care. Talk to you next time. Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in today, and hope you'll join us for our next episode. You can reach Emma at
ecdogtraining.com or on Instagram at ecdog_training, and Kirsten at
kwhappydogs.com or on Facebook at kwhappydogs. Don't forget to hit subscribe. See you next time.